Welcome to the ZimmCast, a program dedicated to bringing you what's new in agricultural marketing. The ZimmCast is the official podcast of AgWired and hosted by Chuck and Cindy Zimmerman.
Hello and welcome to the ZimmCast. I'm Chuck Zimmerman. It's time to get ready for the annual Ag Media Summit, and you'll learn more about this year's event in this episode. Let's get a preview of the 2025 Agricultural Media Summit with Shelia Grobosky, AMS Steering Committee Chair and LPC President. And Shelia, let's start with telling us a little bit about you and what you do first.
Well, thanks, Chuck. Yes, I am the Public Relations Coordinator for BioZyme Incorporated. We're an animal nutrition company based out of St. Joseph, Missouri. So I do a lot of promoting health and nutrition for livestock of all species around the globe.
This year, the summit's being held in Rogers, Arkansas, which when I first heard that, I thought, well, that's kind of a unique location. But I've been through there several times. But can you tell us why we decided on there and a little bit about the location itself?
Yeah, we typically go to what I would call hotspot places, Kansas City, Tampa, Louisville, Indianapolis, St. Louis. We've never been to Rogers, at least in my memory, and I've been to, I think, 19 of the 26 Ag Media Summits. So when our event planner was looking at cost-effective places to have an Ag Media Summit and places we've never been and places that are also rich in agriculture, Rogers, their Convention and Visitors Bureau and their tourism board actually welcomed us and our group with open arms. It's actually quite affordable to fly into Bentonville Airport, which is a quick, less than 20-minute Uber drive over. I visited in December, and if I can get there from my little airports in Northwest Illinois, I like to say anybody can get there. And I know talking to some of my colleagues, it's pretty easy to drive for several people as well in both the Kansas City area, northern Texas, Oklahoma. But Arkansas, as I mentioned, is rich in agriculture, whether you're thinking cattle, poultry, crop production, and some of the crops, cotton, soybeans, different commodities like that. So it's a beautiful location. There's a lot to do in the area that our hotel is in, and we're actually really excited to take it to Arkansas. And they're, like I said, very affordable. We don't want to increase the registration fees for our attendees because we know that individuals and companies are cutting back on expenses or trying to cut back on expenses. And so we want to make it affordable from a rooming, a food and beverage standpoint, and those are some of the many reasons that we chose Rogers.
Well, can you give us a rundown on the schedule, which starts off with the organizational board meetings then?
Yeah, our schedule is Sunday through Wednesday, July 27th through the 30th, and like you mentioned, that Sunday morning we'll start off with the Ag Communicators Network and the LPC. Those boards meet bright and early Sunday morning. We only get together in person a couple times a year, but this is typically an annual board meeting for both the groups. That Sunday, we also a lot of student development. Ag Communicators Tomorrow, which is the college organization for future communicators, usually has some workshops going on. We open our registration desk, and then that afternoon we'll have a first-time reception and then officially kick off the event that evening with our famous welcome party. This year, we're just going to be a little bit away from the hotel at Top Golf, which is a little different. Some people are saying, well, I'm not a golfer. Well, I'm not a golfer either, but we've got some fun, engaging activities planned for everybody. And I went to Top Golf with my family actually over Memorial Day weekend. And as a non-golfer, I had a blast. And I think we've got some fun activities planned for all of our communications friends that evening. Then we kick off our big program on Monday. I'd be remiss not to give a shout out to our program chair, Julie Deering, and her whole program committee. They've worked so hard this year doing a little revamp of the program. AMS is famous for several blocks of breakout sessions, which we're still going to have those blocks of breakout sessions, but we're also going to have a few more what I would call general sessions. So we'll be together in our general session room a little bit more, just so everybody gets the same messages. But our keynote speaker this year we're very excited about is Sean Dietrich. He is, I would call him a very creative short form writer. Some people might know him as Sean of the South. I started reading him probably during COVID on social media. Writes from the heart, writes very colorful stories, and has actually written for several publications, well-known publications. He is going to be our keynote and then actually lead a couple other breakout sessions later in the conference. So he'll kick off our session, and then we'll have a newsmakers panel about sustainability. Then we'll actually break into our breakout sessions Monday morning. And as always, we have sessions about writing, digital media, leadership, graphic arts. We're very excited to have an Adobe speaker with us this year to talk about graphic arts. We'll be talking about, I think I mentioned digital media, business side of things, the public relations side of things, AI. You and I discussed that before our formal interview started. Of course, that's up and growing, and I'm not talking about artificial insemination, but artificial intelligence there and how we can use that productively and ethically. And those are some of the topics that we'll be talking about on Monday in different breakout sessions. And then one of the things we've actually added, we've actually added a couple things just to make this day a little easier on all of our colleagues that are attending, is because the space is so gracious at our convention center there in Rogers. We will have a media working room and a student lounge right there amongst the breakout rooms. We know sometimes you might have to do a quick interview, or you just need to finish up a story or check email, and it's not always conducive to run to your room for some privacy. Because we do have so much space this year, we've got these two rooms that you can go into and just have little quiet time. We'll have tables and chairs set up so you can have that little working space. So we're really excited about that. Tuesday, we wrap up our educational sessions with another keynote. Well, not really a keynote, but some more general sessions and some more breakouts. So I just think it'll be really good educational program overall. Monday, we have our student awards luncheon, and then Tuesday, we have our awards luncheon for everybody that to be recognized from our ACN and LPC organizations.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to this because I will be there again this year. And after awards, you touched on that. How about Info Expo? What can you tell us about that and either of those companies there and also our sponsors for that matter?
Yeah, of course, we have the famous Info Expo. We couldn't do it without our sponsors for sure. And the Info Expo will open up on Monday, I believe right after lunch. We have dessert in the Info Expo. We're trying to make sure people don't go away hungry or and have plenty of time to visit with the sponsors and exhibitors in the Info Expo. Of course, we always have our great sponsors that we couldn't do this without. We are glad to have our continuing sponsors like Corteva, Syngenta, the Slate Group, Modern Litho, the Soy Checkoff is a sponsor, the Professional Improvement Foundation through Ag Communicators Network. I think I mentioned that, Arkansas was so gracious and excited that we were coming. So we have a sponsorship from their Convention and Visitors Bureau there through Arkansas travelers, Ad Farm, of course, John Deere, USDA is a continuing sponsor for us, Coke, Ag Innovation, New Holland, and Zoetis, BASF, the Certified Agriculture Group, Noble Research Institute, their continuing sponsor. Halter is new this year. UPL, being in Arkansas, Arkansas Soybean Promotion Board wanted to come on board. Urco Biotics, Nutrien, and Porsche is a sponsor. And then, of course, Lynn Henderson, our friend at Agri Marketing, and Modern Litho and Slate, they print a lot of our materials for us. So we're just very thankful for all these sponsors that have reached out and continue to support Ag Media Summit and the communication efforts that we all do. So,
So you mentioned the ACT awards. Tell me a little bit about the fact that they have kind of like their own agenda or schedule. I had the help of them to take some of their own pictures and then send them to me so that I could put them in with all the photos that we're doing, which we can do with anybody for that matter. I want to say that right now. If people are taking pictures, they can be sent to me, email, whatever, anytime. I'll be happy. And then just in the description of the album, we can put those people who have contributed to it to get some recognition there. How about getting registered? Where are we at right now?
yeah, we are closely approaching our early bird registration, which is July 10th. That is our cutoff for early bird. Of course, we'll take registrations right up to the door. There is a fee increase after July 10th. That's also our cutoff to guarantee a room in our hotel block there at the Embassy Suites in Rogers. So we would encourage anybody who's interested in attending Ag Media Summit to get registered by going to agmediasummit.com before July 10th, which I believe is next Thursday. It's also our county fair week, so I kind of know the dates. And of course, we have full conference registration. If you just wanted to attend Monday or one of the awards banquets, we also have that broken down into individual events where you can register for those as well. So membership does pay if you're a member of one of the organizations. There is a membership rate, and then there's also a non-member rate. That's a little bit higher. So,
On another note, do we know where AMS will be next year?
yes, next year's Ag Media Summit will be in St. Louis. So we are excited about that. Still in the Midwest, but they were anxious to get us back there, and so
Good.
that will be there.
All right. Well, is there anything else we should cover that we didn't?
In addition to the regular Ag Media Summit program that happens Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, there is also a post-event photo tour. Well, it's a post-event tour, and then it concludes with a photo workshop at a farm there in Arkansas. So people they can register for that separately. It's an optional tour that will leave from the hotel that Wednesday morning. Lindsay West Kennedy, who is an Arkansas native who teaches AgCom at Texas Tech, and Jenny Latsky. They have been working very, very hard on that. I know that will go to University of Arkansas and then make some stops at some specialty farms along the way. The description of it just sounds absolutely wonderful. And I know we've already gotten nearly 30 people registered for that. So that's just a great opportunity. I went on the tour when we were out in California a few years ago. I'd never had that opportunity before, but it's just a great chance to see agriculture in a different state, get to interact with people on a bus, visit with other people, and then learn more about ag in that area, get some great stories for the editors that are at the event. And like I said, get to learn some photo tips from Lindsay, who's a wonderful photographer and teacher. So
Awesome. I'm glad I asked that question because I totally forgot about it, but that's great. Well, I want to thank you very much, Sheila. I look forward to seeing you there.
well,
And
we
yeah,
look forward to seeing you, Chuck, and we appreciate all the photos you take. And I had heard that last year was your last year and you were going into retirement.
What we are doing at ZimCom is we're retiring from traveling to do work. That doesn't mean we won't still have where I'm sitting right now. I have been in since 21 years in home offices. So anyway, looking forward to this though again this year. If you haven't registered for this year's event, now is the time. And that's the ZimmCast for now. I hope you enjoy it and thank you for listening.
You've been listening to the ZimmCast, the official podcast of AgWired. Check us out at www.agwired.com to find out what's new in agricultural marketing.